Hey everyone, DeeDee here today for LimorWeber.com, and I'm going to bring you a mixed media flower tutorial. It's the one at the very top of this tag. Here's a great close-up. It's very fun, very simple, and you'll adore making hundreds of these. I start out with a 6x6 piece of watercolor paper. And I've got out some Lindy's Gang Magicals. I sprayed the water paper down, and now I'm using a paintbrush to just sprinkle the Magicals across the page. Because they're water activated, you can see them starting to spread their color now. And I used the teal color that's included and then the brown, and then I gave it a squirt with water. It wasn't reacting as much as I had liked because I was a little light when I spritzed it. Now I'm just drying it down. Little bit of heat action here really helps set those Magicals in place, and of course flattens back out the paper and dries everything up. You can really see the amazing texture that those Magicals create. You can mix them directly with water if you like, but I love this sort of splotchy, it almost looks like the ocean or something going on here. I really, really adore it. Now I am just grabbing out my Prima Bubble Stencil by Bear, and I've got my Prima Art Basics Heavy White Gesso. And I'm just using a palette knife to smear it through the stencil onto our newfound glorious colored paper there. And I'm going to give it a quick heat set here too. I actually did a little time lapse and I left and let it finish drying on its own because as it was drying I could see the color through the bubbles pretty well, and I really wanted the white starkness to show through. So I'm layering it back up after it's completely dry, and I'm doing it a second time. So it's a second layer of gesso on top of all of those bubbles. It's in the exact same spot. I just want it to be nice and thick. And then I'll let that heat dry as well. I'll heat it and then let that dry. And that's our finished piece. Now I'm cutting it. It was 6x6, so I'm cutting it into 3" by 3" squares. And I'm pulling out my Big Shot and a Tim Holtz shaper and mover in the shape of the mini tattered florals. And I'm cutting each square into a flower shape. And just a tip in case you don't know or you don't die cut much, the pattern that you want on the outside, put it face down into the die, and that creates a nice smooth edge where the die cuts. And I've got 4 very cool pieces, and I'm going to use some adhesive and start layering those up, one on top of another. And I actually started with the one with the least pattern on the bottom, and I went through as I layered them to the one with the most pattern on top. And now I'm just bending up the petals. I actually thought about curling them, but I really love how they looked straight, all nice and 3D. And I've got a little Prima Lorraine flower here. I'm just gluing it right in the middle. And you could glue in the middle anything, a bauble or a button or something. And that's it. That flower is done. And there you can see a nice detailed shot of the depth. Thanks so much for joining me here for LimorWeber.com. And I hope you'll subscribe. I've been working a lot harder on getting more videos going, and I'm excited that you've joined me. Thanks so much for stopping by.